What's up, everybody? I'm Stella Chung, and this is the Weekly Fix, the show where we round up all the gaming and entertainment headlines you may have missed this week. According to leaked info, Rockstar has shelved plans for remasters of GTA 4 and the first Red Dead Redemption. Plus, EA really is out here making fun of single-player games. In the entertainment world, Lena Headey has been cut from Thor: Love and Thunder, and Taika Waititi forgot Natalie Portman was already in the Star Wars universe. Hope you're having a good one, and let's jump right into it.
Rockstar Games has reportedly decided to shelve plans for remakes for games like Red Dead Redemption and GTA 4 to focus on GTA 6. As per a tweet by prominent leaker Tez Fun and then confirmed by Kotaku, both remasters were, quote, on the table a few years ago, but Rockstar chose not to proceed with their projects in mind. The decision to put the remakes on hold was made in response to the exceptionally poor reception of last year's GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, which sadly was more definitively buggy than anything else. But on the bright side, scrapping the remastered means Rockstar Games will focus its efforts on GTA 6, which was confirmed to be in development earlier this year. That said, this doesn't mean fans should expect any news on GTA 6 anytime soon. Rockstar will reveal the next game when they're good and ready, and when they do, you better believe we'll report on it. Moving on, we have an official release date for this year's NBA 2K game and the reveal of which player will grace its cover, none other than the legendary basketball champion, Michael Jordan. The beloved Chicago Bull will appear on both the NBA 2K23 Michael Jordan Edition and the premium NBA 2K23 Championship Edition. Jordan has been retired from basketball for almost 20 years, but according to Alfie Brody, NBA 2K's VP of Global Marketing Strategy, after making 23 the most recognizable number in sports, it was only fitting that for NBA 2K23 we introduce the Michael Jordan Edition. 2K confirmed the latest entry will see the return of the Jordan Challenges, first seen in NBA 2K11. These challenges recreate defining moments from Jordan's career for players to relive themselves. The challenges will take advantage of 2K23's modern tech, pulling moments from Jordan's NBA career with the Chicago Bulls and Team USA playtime. This marks the fourth time Jordan has appeared on an NBA 2K cover, previously appearing on NBA 2K11, NBA 2K12, and the NBA 2K16 Special Edition. NBA 2K23 is set to release this year, September 9th, and 2K will release a deeper look at the Jordan Challenges sometime later this summer. And finally, dust off your chainsaws and get your cheerleader uniform dry cleaned, as the cult classic 2012 Grindhouse hack and slash lollipop chainsaw is getting a remake in 2023. The remake aims to recreate the original with, quote, a more realistic approach to graphics. An official title or platform has yet to be announced, but the original game's producer, Yoshimi Yasuda, confirmed the remake would be a combination of staff from the original dev team with additional talent from Dragami Games. Yasuda confirmed Lollipop Chainsaw's intellectual property was brought from Kadokawa Games to develop the remake, and with the support of Warner Bros. Development is underway. In addition, due to licensing issues, only a few of the original game's 16 tracks would return, with the upcoming remake consisting of new music. My only hope is Jessica Negri returns as the official cosplay for Juliet Starling. It's only fitting. Electronic Arts has a long history of rubbing gamers the wrong way, and a recent joke posted on EA's official Twitter account continues this tradition. The account posted, "They're a 10, but they only like playing single-player games." A play on a recent TikTok trend that has since spread across other social media platforms. It's unclear how this was supposed to be interpreted, but it comes across like they're saying single-player games are inferior to multiplayer ones? I don't know. The joke didn't sit well with a lot of folks, including YouTuber Jacksepticeye, the Game Awards host Jeff Keighley, and Vince Zampella, head of Respawn Entertainment. You know, the EA-owned studio behind the hit single-player game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and its highly anticipated sequel Jedi Survivor. EA has published a ton of incredible single-player games over the years, including the Mass Effect trilogy, Dragon Age, and Dead Space series, all of which have sequels in the works. Meanwhile, EA's multiplayer games have been the subject of heavy criticism for predatory microtransactions and loot boxes. So really, who is this tweet for? After getting dogpiled by over 12,000 quote tweets and over 9,000 replies, most of which were dunking on them, EA acknowledged the mistake with "roast well deserved. We'll take this L cause playing single player games actually makes them an 11. Moving on, the light at the end of the tunnel for Halo Infinite fans is near as the long-awaited co-op campaign mode is hitting beta this month. 343 Industries announced a 2-week-long beta preview of the co-op campaign. It will include the entire campaign and it's available to anyone who either owns Halo Infinite or has Xbox Game Pass. But players will need to start a new playthrough and progress will not carry over to the final version. Console players looking to try it out will need to join the Xbox Insider program, while Steam players can only access it if they're part of the Halo Insiders program. Once the full feature is released, players will not need a separate co-op file to play, and progression will count towards the regular playthrough for all players involved. Cross-platform play will be fully supported. The experience will be consistent across platforms. Great news, everyone! One of the biggest games of the year is officially coming out this year. God of War Ragnarok got a release date of November 9th this morning, along with a brand new CG trailer and not one, but 2 different collector's editions. PlayStation announced God of War Ragnarok will be released with 4 editions: the Launch Edition, the Digital Deluxe Edition, the Collector's Edition, and the Jotnar Collector's Edition, which is like a Super Collector's Edition. The regular Collector's Edition includes a download code for Ragnarok on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, a steelbook display case that's literally just for displaying since there's no physical disc. You also get a 2-inch replica of Atreus' Veneer twin carvings, a set of dwarven dice complete with carrying pouch. But the real selling point is clearly a 16-inch tall replica of Thor's signature weapon, Mjolnir. The Collector's Edition will also include a bunch of digital items, including cosmetic upgrades for armor and weapons, the soundtrack, a digital mini art book, an avatar set, and a PlayStation 4 theme. The Jotnar's Collector's Edition has all that, plus a 7-inch vinyl record with music by Bear McCreary, a set of 3 pins, more dice, a cloth map, and the one-size-fits-all legendary Dropnir ring, which may or may not fit you. There's also the Digital Deluxe Edition, which includes all the cosmetic and digital items, and the regular old Launch Edition, which also has a couple in-game cosmetics, so nobody feels too left out. No official pricing just yet, but pre-orders start July 15th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Speaking of big fancy collector's items, Nintendo has announced its first special edition OLED Nintendo Switch, and if you're wondering why it's got paint all over it, it's to celebrate the launch of Splatoon 3. This announcement comes by way of Nintendo's official YouTube channel, which shows off this version's unique dock splattered with paint and 2 Joy-Con that those darn Squid Kids have tagged up with their colorful graffiti. The original OLED Switch was released last year and features a wider, brighter screen, upgraded battery, improved kickstand, and Bluetooth support. It's not quite the Switch Pro fans have been hoping for, but if you got a launch Switch that's showing its age and you don't mind a little cephalopod vandalism, the Splatoon 3 version could be for you. Splatoon 3 drops on September 9th, and the limited edition Switch will come 2 weeks earlier on August 26th, retailing at $359.99. $10 more than the standard Switch OLED model. Considering it doesn't come with the game, they should offer a discount since it's been visibly ransacked by delinquent calamari. And finally, speaking of brightly colored things coming soon, a streamer might have leaked that She-Hulk is the next DLC character joining the roster of Marvel's Avengers. The awkward part? He did it while he was streaming with one of the developers.
Funny, you want a funny fact about She-Hulk? I don't know if I can say this. I think it was public knowledge. I'll just say this. Okay, I don't like the face of Bryce.
Guest streamer Technique TV was live on Xbox's official Twitch channel, joined by Avengers lead designer Brian Wagner. Technique casually mentioned that his acting coach would be voicing She-Hulk in the game. Realizing mid-sentence that this might not have been public knowledge, with his best poker face, Wagner sidestepped saying, "Nope, no, we have never announced She-Hulk. We're working on our next hero. We haven't said who it's going to be yet." Oof. Last week, Jane Foster became playable in Avengers just in time for her appearance in Marvel's blockbuster Thor: Love and Thunder. So it would make sense She-Hulk would appear in the game close to her Disney Plus series debut on August 17th. Though we will have to wait for a word from Crystal Dynamics for official confirmation, but you gotta admit that was kind of a priceless moment. I mean, just look at Wagner's face the entire time. Tanik is actually a friend of mine. I should grill him and see if he has any more inside info. Or at the very least, never let him live down this moment.
Nope, we've never announced She-Hulk. We don't announce things, you know.
Oh, then never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not, but hopefully.
Ron Gilbert, the point-and-click adventure game pioneer and director of Return to Monkey Island, says he will no longer be giving updates on the long-awaited sequel. The reason? Too many toxic commenters. Terrible Toy Box director Ron Gilbert explained on his personal blog that due to the amount of online abuse he's received following the decision to switch from pixel art to a more modern aesthetic, he will no longer provide updates on the project. Before shutting down his personal blog, Gilbert stated, "I'm shutting down comments. People are just being mean and I'm having to delete personal attack comments. It's an amazing game and everyone on the team is very proud of it. Play it or don't play it, but don't ruin it for everyone else. I won't be posting anymore about the game. The joy of sharing has been driven from me." Gilbert previously mentioned that Return to Monkey Island may not be the art style you wanted or were expecting, but it's the art style I wanted, which is totally fair. It's become a beloved video game aesthetic now, but pixel art was a byproduct of the graphical limitations of technology at the time. Even if Ron had decided to make the new Monkey Island a text adventure with live-action FMV QuickTime events, there's still no excuse for that kind of toxicity. Return to Monkey Island was revealed back in April and is expected to be the conclusion to the Monkey Island series. The game is headed to PC and Nintendo Switch sometime later this year. It would be nice to have some updates from the director between now and then, but I guess we can't have nice things. Moving on, the remake of the negatively reviewed first-person shooter 13 is getting, well, another remake. Publisher Microids has entrusted the task of overhauling it to a completely different developer. In a post on the game's Steam page, Microids announced a hefty update will be coming to the game from French studio Tower 5, which has been in the works for over a year. The update will include refined art style, enhanced AI, reworked HUD, revamped sound, and a multiplayer mode that hopefully offers players a better experience. Back in 2020, 13's remake received scathing reviews at launch, with players voicing the same frustrations with the game. Publisher Microids affirms that the 2020 remake developer, PlayMagic, would not be contributing to the remake's remake, and owners of the game should expect a free update when it arrives September 13th. 13 will also release on the Nintendo Switch that same day, and updates for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series are also in the works. The president of Nintendo doesn't owe anyone an explanation for the company's business decision, with one exception: shareholders. One anonymous fan figured this out and bought 5.6 million yen, around $40,000 worth of Nintendo shares so he could ask one burning question during the annual shareholder meeting: are they ever gonna make a new F-Zero or Wario Land game? Sadly, Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa had to politely shut him down, explaining that it is realistically difficult to develop new titles and remakes, including sequels, for every Nintendo game that people request. But we are very grateful and appreciate the expectation our fans have for our games. This translation comes by way of Video Games Chronicle, who also reported the story. F-Zero fans have been clamoring for a new entry in the futuristic racing series for nearly 20 years. The last entry was F-Zero Climax on Game Boy Advance, which came out in 2004. Wario's kept a bit busier, starring in last year's WarioWare Get It Together, but the last Wario Land style platformer was 2007's Wario Master of Disguise for Nintendo DS. Both Wario and F-Zero's Captain Falcon have kept busy as mainstays in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Mario Kart 8 featured plenty of Wario, plus some F-Zero inspired karts, tracks, and Mii racing outfits. But we'll have to wait and see if they ever get more standalone games. Speaking of kart racing, the Smurfs will be getting behind the wheel of some very small motor vehicles in Smurfs Kart, which is slated for release sometime later this year. Yes, that's right, the beloved cartoon from the 80s is once again jumping on the hottest video game trend of the late 90s. Smurfs Kart is being developed by Microids, a French studio that was also behind the Smurfs Mission Violet. Undeniably the best Smurfs game of 2021, mostly because it was the only Smurfs game that came out last year. This is actually only the second time those white-capped vermin have appeared in a racing game. Smurf Racer was released for PlayStation 1. But hey, if you're stoked for Smurfs, buckle up, because this is the first of 5 Smurfs games currently in development. The only question now is, will Katy Perry be reprising her role as Smurfette from the hit 2011 live-action Smurfs film? Sadly, Ms. Perry was unavailable for comment at the time of this reporting.
It's time to take a quick break. When we come back, Lena Headey is being sued for her exclusion from Thor: Love and Thunder, and some more Dragon Ball Super superhero news has been revealed. See you in a bit. Welcome back. Taika Waititi confessed that he asked Natalie Portman if she'd like to be in the Star Wars world, forgetting she had already played Padme in the prequels. But before that, Lena Headey is being sued by her former agency for being cut out of the latest Thor movie. Let's check out some more details.
Actor Lena Headey was cut from the Thor: Love and Thunder movie, and now she's reportedly being sued by her former agency for unpaid commission fees to the tune of $1.5 million. Now, according to Variety, this $1.5 million commission fee includes $500K for her earnings on Thor 4, despite the fact that she didn't even make the final cut of the Marvel film, as well as uncollected commissions from several other projects. Now, the company claims Headey owes them the commission under the terms of their agreement, while Headey and her team alleges she never signed a contract with the company. Now, Headey also claims that the company wasn't even involved in the negotiations regarding her role in Thor 4, as director Taika Waititi hit her up personally about the role. Now, in addition to Thor 4, the agency also wants Headey to cough up $650,000 for her role in the Cannes Showtime series Rita, and $300K for her role in 9 Bullets. Now, honestly, it's no surprise she's no longer with that particular agency, but if they were involved in securing her roles in these productions, then, it kind of makes sense for them to want their agreed upon cut. But Headey asserts they've been paid up for the projects they had a hand in while representing her. Now, she was also simultaneously repped by another agency in the US, so she also had another company juggling projects for her as well. Now, along with Headey's scenes being nixed, so were Peter Dinklage's and Jeff Goldblum's. Now, the great thing for them is, well, they still got paid. Whether or not it shows up on screen is at the director's discretion. Now, I want y'all to let us know what you think down below. All right, now in another corner of the Disney universe, Tim Allen isn't too happy with the Pixar film Lightyear. Now, while the film seems light years ahead of its predecessors in the Toy Story franchise, generating a whole lot of buzz for its rather moody tone, the OG Buzz Lightyear actor decided to weigh in on things while speaking with Extra. Now, he mentions how he wishes there was a better connection to the Toy Story films, how this is an entirely new team that worked on the project, and how he remembers talking about working on something just like this many years ago. Now, he said, quote, "We talked about this many years ago. It came up in one of the sessions. I said, what a fun movie that would be." And with the final product being so far removed from the source material, honestly, I'm curious to know what you all think about Lightyear. If you've seen it, let us know down below. And finally, get a look at these new images from the upcoming Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, headed to Netflix August 5th. Now, Netflix Geeked released these first looks, showing us what kinds of action the four brothers will be involved in. Now, the original cast from the Nicktoons series are all returning to send the half-shelled heroes out on top as they face a new threat in the streets.
Thor: Love and Thunder director Taika Waititi has been making the rounds promoting the new film, and one topic that's come up a few times is his previously announced Star Wars movie. In a Rolling Stone interview, he confessed that he asked Thor star Natalie Portman if she'd ever consider being in a Star Wars. Obviously, she was Padme Amidala in episode 1 through 3, to which Taika admitted he had forgotten about those. This has some fans outraged, but it's worth noting that Taika isn't a particularly serious guy, so take this soundbite with a grain of salt. It definitely seems more like a mildly embarrassing anecdote about having a brain fart than a confession that he didn't recall the prequels at all. Bear in mind, Taika directed an episode of The Mandalorian Season 1, as well as voicing the bounty hunter droid IG-11.
I require an answer if I am to proceed. Alert.
Whether or not Taika's Star Wars movie actually comes to fruition remains to be seen. It was announced back in 2020, but the director recently told the New York Times he's still writing the screenplay, and that'll determine if it gets made or not. If it does happen, he aims to expand the Star Wars universe. He told Total Film, quote, "I don't think that I'm any use in the Star Wars universe, making a film where everyone's like, oh great, well that's the blueprint to the Millennium Falcon. That's Chewbacca's grandmother. So maybe forgetting about the prequels for a bit is for the best." After Thor: Love and Thunder, the next big blockbuster movie involving ancient gods and superheroes is DC's Black Adam, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the overpowered anti-hero. We've gotten a good look at Adam himself, along with Justice Society of America members like Hawkman and Dr. Fate. But how the big bad will look on the big screen has remained a mystery until now. Our first look of Sabak comes by way of some official product shots of the upcoming action figure in McFarlane Toys' DC Universe line. In the comments, Sabak is a New York City mob boss who turns supervillain after getting demonic powers, which would explain the hordes and, well, generally demonic appearance. In the film, he's being played by Marwan Kenzari, who you might know as Jafar in Disney's live-action Aladdin or Joe in the Netflix original The Old Guard. Black Adam is hitting theaters on October 21st of this year, and between now and then, we'll definitely learn more, possibly if we get another DC Fandom digital event. Speaking of plastic things from DC films that you can buy, one of the most hated Batman costumes from one of the most hated Batman movies could be yours. The Batsuit worn by George Clooney in the 1997 cinematic train wreck that was Batman and Robin will be getting auctioned off at Heritage's Hollywood and Entertainment Signature Auction later this month. The opening bid? A whopping $40,000. But really, if you break it down, it's just $20,000 per bat nipple. Talk about a bat bargain. Am I right? No? Okay. Some other iconic and less ridiculed bat props will be up for sale, including one of the Joker's suits from Batman '89 and one of Riddler's canes from Batman Forever. The auction is being held from July 22nd to the 23rd and will also feature movie memorabilia from non-Bat films. If you could have one piece of Batman memorabilia, what would you pick? Let me know in the comments. Personally, I'd go for that jar of Granny's peach tea from Batman vs. Superman, but I'd probably wash it out before I poured my Arizona in there.
We create a free and a
All right, now we've got a new official trailer for Dragon Ball Super Superhero, chock full of spoilers. So if you're in the US and managed to avoid all of the spoilers thus far, which is honestly impossible if you're a DBS fan at this point, then you may want to hop off this Nimbus cloud right now. All right, you ready? Here we go. Now, the producers of Superhero likely realize that there's no real purpose in not revealing some of the major surprises of the anime movie, as it's been out for weeks now in Japan and isn't slated for a stateside release till August. In the new promo, we finally see one of the major antagonists of the film, Cell Max. Now, obviously not the perfect Cell we've been hoping to see make a return to the Dragon Ball franchise, but this is a good sign that the classic DBZ character is still likely to make a comeback at some point, although he hasn't in the canonical manga. So while the only hope we have of seeing Perfect Cell is in fact in the subsequent movies, Cell Max should be enough to keep us excited for what's to come. Now, we also get a new form for Piccolo, giving the Namekian a new orange color scheme with a more muscular build, and it's called Orange Piccolo. This is the official name of that particular form. Now, this marks his second transformation in the movie, with his first giving him a golden tinge, which we've seen in earlier trailers. Then we have Final Gohan, clad in long white hair and red eyes. Now, this form was actually revealed to be called Gohan Beast, according to Toriyama. We also see Shenron showing up to grant Bulma a few wishes, such as a larger booty and longer eyelashes. You know, the important things in life for a middle-aged mother of two to wish for while the Earth is on the brink of destruction. Now, Bulma gets a bigger booty and Gotenks shows off his while taunting a villain. Now, he's a big chubby boy here, so maybe Trunks and Goten screwed up the fusion transformation dance. We'll get to see what else is in store for us Dragon Ball fans when Superhero arrives stateside August 19th. Now, in other news, the Horizon television series is apparently named Horizon 2074, which likely means it's set during the fall of civilization. Now, that means we're getting a prequel of sorts, and the events that we'll see in the series will take place 1,000 years before the games Forbidden West and Zero Dawn. Now, the name was shared alongside a crew listing on the Directors Guild of Ontario, spotted by industry insider Jeff Grubb. That date, 2074, is just slightly later than the 2066 date both games reference as the fall of civilization in the 21st century. So while we may not get to meet characters like Aloy and Sylens or the majority of characters we've grown to love from the games, hopefully we'll get to at least meet Elizabeth Sobek in the flesh. Still, are you looking forward to the Horizon TV series? Comment down below and let's discuss. And finally, a One Piece Day is coming our way. Toei Animation announced that the 2-day event will commemorate the anniversary of the debut of the One Piece manga, and it'll stream all the festivities in Japanese and English on YouTube July 22nd through the 23rd. Now, the live stream will feature a preview of the upcoming One Piece Red anime film, along with other One Piece related projects announced.
Colossal 2022 took place this weekend and it had around 1,024 players attending, and it was graded a gold tier tournament on the Smash World Tour circuit with a $10,692 prize pool. MK Leo showed up and faced off against Meister in the first match and was knocked down 3-2. This was the first time Meister beat Leo in an offline tournament bracket, which was a huge win for him. However, Leo did drag himself out of the losers finals against Chang and rematched against Meister for the Colossal 2022 finals. MK Leo proceeded to take a perfect 6-0 win over Meister as the champion of Colossal 2022. I'm Stella Chung, and that was your weekly fix. We'll be back here next Saturday with more of the biggest gaming and entertainment news of the week. See you then.